you guys are having a great day. It's Sunday, good time to be alive. Weekends kind of winding down and whatnot. I haven't done a rant during the day in a minute, but it's all good. But, let me know how your weekend's been going. Let me know what specific money moves you've been making, what you guys been doing with your families and your friends and all that. Basically, today's rant, Sundays for me, I'm getting personal today. Sundays for me is like a day of meditation and elevation. For a lot of people, it's a moment of fellowship, whether it's fellowship at the church, fellowship with their family, fellowship with their friends, or in a sense, I like to call it fellowship with themselves. For me, Sunday is a day of relaxation, meditation, and I still get some work in, but, for me, like I said, in a sense of me being rich is being around people and the things that I love and having less stress and, having more of a carefree, worry-free lifestyle. I think that's why I like the West Coast so much, because you got a lot of people, and down south too, as far as my favorite parts of the United States, because you got people that, they got more of a laid-back mentality. The East Coast is a little bit more fast-paced. For no reason. And, people on the West Coast down south like to chill and have that, day of reflection, that reflection and have that sense of appreciation and whatnot. I noticed that a little bit more. I'm not having coastal battles or nothing like that. That's not what I'm getting at, but a day on Sunday for me, and for some people it could be a Monday. A lot of people, like most working people, they start the new work week off on Mondays, so they hate Mondays. A lot of people love Mondays because they created a lifestyle that they don't have to, worry about, hitting the alarm clock and rushing to get to a place they don't want to get to. And for a lot of people, heck, even for me, that's what I like to call freedom and whatnot. But anyways. So, today my Sundays are a day of meditation and elevation. Meditation, most people know, it stands for the action or practice of just meditating, having some quiet time, reflection, when I was growing up, most people just thought meditation was like putting your fingers together and going, But, meditate to me is just like this peace and quiet, being left alone, relaxing, kicking up, stretching, whatever it may be. For me, that's what it is. It's like, a lot of people, when they're doing yoga or people are into that, that actually calms their soul and their spirit and things of that nature, not just from a physical standpoint, but from a mental. But you got to take care of your mental as well as your physical. To me, it all coexists. Elevation, elevation is the act or fact of elevating or being elevated and whatnot, height above or given levels. A day of reflection and a day of elevation, to me, it coexists, because when you're in a position to relax your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit and whatnot, you do things that's great for all that. And everybody has their own version of what they do that is great for all that. Some people, it's a nice car ride, peaceful silence in the country, or a car ride blasting some music on. It could be from classical to country to rock to hip hop to whatever, you know what I mean, and just zoning out, doing your own thing, not bothering anybody. So everybody has their level of peace. I always love to choose these space filtered backgrounds and whatnot, because I remember reading books and memoirs of current and previous astronauts from all levels, whether they work for NASA, whether they work for a private corporation, and they said the most peaceful and calming feeling is two things in their life. It's when they go to space. Once they've left Earth's orbit, once they reach space and they do what they're working on, whether they're working on a satellite and whatnot, whether they're going to a specific planet or doing whatever specific scientific research that they're doing, or it's them just taking a nice long walk in the country in the middle of nowhere and just allowing their soul to be fed and whatnot. And that's why I have the music of of the rain and thunder going on, because it's just, soothing. A lot of times people, they actually go to sleep to rain and, thunder and lightning and whatnot. I'm turning up a little bit. But yeah, it's just like a soothing. I mean, heck, to be honest with you, some of the best rest I've ever gotten in my life has been on a stormy night. I think if I lived in the Pacific Northwest, I would probably sleep all the time because, it's not just the rain that they get, but it's the overcast they get all at the same time or whatnot. But it's not just. It's just not just about being around, being in a place where it's calm and peaceful and whatnot and feed your soul, but because that's what I consider Sundays to be. It's just that day of reflect. That's why I really don't even like leaving the house like that unless I'm out and about. Really, I really don't like leaving the house like that on Sundays. I want my days to be chill because I have to get ready for the new week and all that good stuff. But a lot of times people who are self-employed and are making money passively and whatnot, they take time out of every morning to do this, because they have that extra time. That's why being able to buy back your time is probably one of the most important things that anybody can do. And we've seen the pandemic taught us that, and that's why I went live last night on my YouTube and Facebook and was talking about, most people just don't want to go back to the new norm. And a lot of people are, the bucking at the fact that they're like, well, if you, it's and the biggest thing that drives us with the millennial generation and any generation that comes up after that is there was a time when employers could have that carrot in front of you and would be like two kind of different carrots. If you know what I'm talking about, it's basically putting the carrot in front of the horse and whatnot to make the horse walk and whatnot. Okay, so basically, employers used to have the power of putting the carrot in front of employees saying, okay, well, if you do X, Y, Z, you're going to get a raise. Or if you do X, Y, Z, we'll make sure that your pension is covered. Well, since a lot of times, majority of employers nowadays don't even have what you call an old-fashioned 1965 pension plan, that's out of the window. And since most employers don't, a lot of times when they even get a raise, for some people they consider it insignificant because a raise for a lot of people nowadays is being able to live where they want to live. A raise for a lot of people nowadays is to be able to live the kind of lifestyle they want to live. And I'm reading this book for like the third time, The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And you find a good book, you find a lot of gems out of these books that you didn't catch the first time because I do so much reading. And it's amazing, the stories, especially like once you get towards the end of the book, or not even stories, the testimonies of the people that before they read the 4-Hour Work Week, they didn't realize how fulfilling, they didn't realize how unfulfilled their lives were. And especially the fact that because they were considered to be successful people, but they never even had any time to think. They never had any time to be with their family members. They never had any time to just reload, and they were working so much. And the one gem that I'm gonna take out of this one, because it just stuck out to me, is called W4W. Okay, the gentleman said he was the king. He was actually living in the UK, and he says he was the king at being W4W, which translates work for work's sake. He's literally putting in 80-hour work weeks. So the W for W. And I think before the pandemic, a lot of people fell into the W4W category where they were just working for work's sake and whatnot, and there was no plan behind. And once on vacation, he read this book, 4-Hour Work Week, and it just changed his whole life and perspective on how he was looking at work. And he went from 80 hours a week to working 20 hours a week. He's actually owned 13 Subway franchise stores. So, he's quote-unquote successful. But it's like I said last night, what you call sanity is what I call insane. So he was quote-unquote successful, but he was not happy. Because he was part of the W4W, work for work's sake. But now he's a part of the 4HWW, 4-Hour Work Week. And I talk about that gem, for the sake of, peace and satisfaction. Are you getting that out of life? Are you getting peace and satisfaction? Are you happy? Are you finding joy? in life, things of that nature. Because me, I always say to make money moves and live broke like a fool. But the biggest kinds of money you can have is bringing joy, you having joy in your life, and you bringing joy to others. I can't put it any other way. And one of the best ways for anyone to even have a significant amount of joy is to have peace and satisfaction, peace and quiet. Have time to think. Have time to be rational and whatnot. Have time to, just block out a lot of the noise of society. I mean, even cutting off the social media sometimes, you have to do that. Heck, me, myself, I've been binging on reading books and YouTube this weekend, catching up on a lot of YouTube videos and kind of cutting out the social media in regards to just, scrolling and all that good stuff, because a lot of times the social media is just a lot of noise. Sometimes it's great stuff, but a lot of times it can just be a lot of noise and minutia and stuff that I just don't need to be engaged in, and it's like stuff that makes you lose brain cells. Let's just put it like that. There's no elevation going on, so there's a time to meditate, there's a time to elevate, and for me, sometimes just to chill and relax, listen to the sound of rain, thunder and lightning, like I said, I'll turn it up. Could be one of the most best and soothing, healing things ever and whatnot. For a lot of people, going to church, prayer, listening to some great, a great choir, or just some great music, period. It could be not just gospel or whatnot. Everybody has their own thing. Let me know in the comment section what soothes you from a meditation perspective and what helped elevate you from an elevation perspective. Everybody has their own thing. I'm just talking about the things that I know of and I'm familiar with. But, sometimes this is some of the best relaxing things that you can listen to. And then, for a lot of people, fellowship. It's not only just going to church, but it could be going to a barbecue, it could be going to a birthday party, it could be going to a wedding, it could be you could be going to a multitude. Heck, for a lot of people, going to a sports bar and watching the football games. As much as I talk some, I don't say I'm talking trash, but because I'm not a sports fan. But everybody has their own niche. Everybody has their own thing, and there's nothing wrong with it. My mom said, as long as you're not breaking the law, as long as you're not hurting anybody, then do you. At the end of the day, that's my mindset. But yeah, I love Sundays, and I think because of the way that the economic world has shifted, I love Mondays. I'm starting to just learn every day that I have the opportunity to wake up and do the best I can when it comes to anything, whether it's working out, whether it's working on my businesses, trying to sell products, trying to look for good real estate deals, making sure my tenants are taken care of, trying to collaborate with other entrepreneurs. I love every single day I'm alive, and I hope you all out there love every single day that you have a chance to be alive and whatnot. Having a conversation last night, 2020 taught me that, and the beginning of 2021 has taught me to not only appreciate life, but just appreciate every chance you get to even become a better self and become a better you. If you dwell on the past, a lot of times, you have to, reflect on the past. That's cool. But if you're always constantly dwelling on the past, if you're even around people that always want to dwell on the past, get rid of them. That's straight up personal advice right there. Get them out of your circle. If you're around people that's always talking about the good old days, X them out of your circle. Now, what's going on today and what's going on tomorrow? That's what matters the most. We can reflect a little bit on what happened yesterday, man, but let's talk about what's happening today and tomorrow. That's what matters the most, I think that's why I don't really associate too much with folks I grew up with like that. Nothing against them, but if you're not in the category of talking about building and moving forward, then I get bored very easily. It's like I grew up in the DMV area. Mentally, I've outgrown the DMV a long time ago. I'm really going to say 6 years ago. So a lot of people live in a specific place, but mentally they're someplace else. Like a lot of people work in a certain place, but mentally they're someplace else. So it's all about perspective and what you want to do. And there's nothing, the crazy thing is there's nothing wrong with being different and having different perspectives and wanting different things out of life. That's what makes this world a great place. If everybody was the same, my personal opinion, the world would be a very boring place. That's why I don't mind fellowship or camaraderie, but there needs to be elevation going on. and elevation outside of the norm, not just elevation doing the basic stuff, Bragging about being a good parent, that's what you're supposed to be. Bragging about paying bills, you're supposed to do that. Bragging about having good health, well, you're supposed to have that. So I'm a humble guy, so I don't really do braggers. I don't mind people that are confident and whatnot, but the bragging community doesn't do much for me. Only time to me one's supposed to be bragging about themselves is when they're on an interview or when they're trying to do business, because there's some currency being exchanged. If you're on an interview for a job, you're trying to get a position, and that employer, whomever he or she may be, they're trying to see if you have the right attitude and the right skill sets for the specific position. Same thing when you're doing business. The customer has the right to know, well, why should I buy a product from you or buy the service from you and whatnot. Therefore, you're the one, that's the moment you're supposed to really be bragging, because there's actually some currency going on. That's how you keep currency in your circle from all levels, not just money levels, but from an information perspective, from a health perspective, because some people you associate with, I saw this quote a long time ago, and I say it every day, they either inspire you or they drain you. So choose wisely. If people are a bunch of leeches and ticks, they gotta go. If people always got something bad to say, they gotta go. If somebody's always talking about something sad, they gotta go. We need positivity. Okay, compassion, absolutely, but positivity in the circle. And I'm sorry, if I'm associated with you, you got to bring something good, positive to the table. I can't put it any other way. Something positive has to be discussed eventually. I remember I was talking to one person one day, and I said to her, do you have anything good going on in your life? And she just looked at me, rolled her eyes, and walked away. And I said this to another gentleman, what good is going on in your life? And blank stared, paused, and walked away. And maybe that's just me being blunt with it, but I'm just like, it's always a complaining session. I'm not Dr. Phil. This is not that I don't have a PhD. I'm not Dr. Larry. So it's nothing wrong with listening to people's problems and whatnot. But a lot of times you got to be around people that have something good to talk about. And also not only that, be around some people that just want to have a conversation with you for the sake of having a conversation, not just trying to sell you something either. You notice when I go on lives, do my videos, I'm not always trying to sell you something and whatnot. I always say if you want to do it, that's fine, but the usual conversation is not me trying to sell you something and whatnot. Because social media, I get hit up at least 7 times a day. Somebody's trying to sell me something, or what is it? The relationship is always just based off of hey, I got this service and whatnot. And sometimes it's like, well, why don't you get to know the person first and then offer the service? That's maybe that's just the way I was brought up, but I understand people's being direct and whatnot. They're about being business. There's nothing wrong with that, but for me, it's like, if you're trying to sell me something, you better get to know me. And if I didn't ask for the product, so like if I go on We Buy Black or I go on Amazon, it's because I want to buy something specifically. I don't have a relationship with the owner of We Buy Black or the owner of Amazon. I want to buy something, but that's just me personally. So anyways, do the great 3 free things, family. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm about to go get my workout in. Just wanted to give perspective and, have the good raining and relaxing, background, because I can just imagine what it's like to even go around space and see what it's just like to have that peace and calm of looking at specific planets and whatnot, and looking at the Earth, and the Moon, etc., and so forth. So, anyways, I will see y'all later. Most likely go live again later. But life is good. Enjoy your day. If you're hanging out with your family, enjoy yourself. If you're just chilling, kicking back, enjoy yourself. If you're working on your business, enjoy yourself. If you're working at work, find a way to enjoy yourself. Find a way to smile. Find a way to, just be thankful. All right? I'm out.